This is a part 2 of my story, which is immigration story. How I came to America with a visa, changing from one visa to another visa, from that visa to become a permanent resident or green card holder, from being a green card holder to become a US citizen. And in part 1, in case you didn't know or you haven't watched that one, I came in America in just a very high level through education scholarship, which was to come here to teach Swahili language and African culture at Marshall University through the Fulbright program. But I know you might ask, what is the Fulbright program? So Fulbright is a US government program which brings a lot of people from different countries. So the Fulbright program, there are different programs. There is one which I came with me to teach language. So if you're from Uganda, you come to teach Uganda. If you're from Nigeria, you come to teach some of the languages in Nigeria, depending from which state you are coming from Nigeria. If you're from Cameroon, you're coming to teach French or other traditional languages. If you are from Oman, you're coming to teach Arabic. You're from China. So it brings people from everywhere. That was one program. But there is a Fulbright for masters and PhD. There is a Fulbright to come here to do research. So there are so many Fulbright programs. You can go to the US Embassy in your country and look on education and culture. If you click there, you'll find all the programs in Mandela, this Fulbright, Humphrey Fellowship. They are there. They pay you everything, flight ticket, visa, and they cover everything. That's how I came to America. And that is called the Exchange Visitor Visa or J1 visa. After that, it was 1 year full program of teaching. From West Virginia, Marshall University, I went to the great state of California, and I was doing my master's degree in peace studies and the conflict resolution at the University of San Diego. I was given 60,000 scholarship, 60,000 US dollar. 36,000 from John B. Kroc scholarship was a scholarship to do that was covering tuition and fees, and I got Rotary Ambassador scholarship to cover my living expenses. California is expensive, so I moved from J1 to F1 visa. So how did I move from F1 to become a green card holder? So for me, many people, they think that, oh, this guy won the lottery, maybe because that's why he talks more about green card and especially by lottery. It's because I know most of the programs on how to come to America. And I used most of the ways I was looking. The V lottery, I applied almost like 8 times or 8 years, and I didn't win. That's why I usually tell people, don't lose hope. Keep applying while you are looking for other ways, other legal ways to go to different countries, reach your dream. Or if you want to attain your dream in your own country, keep applying, but work on your craft, work on your skills, continue work on your dreams, as if the green card lottery is not there. So for me, I didn't win the DV lottery. Did it stop me to come to America? No. Did it stop me from becoming a permanent resident? No. So while I was doing my master's degree, that is when I had the opportunity to meet my wife, my fiancée, but at that time. And how did I meet my fiancée and then my wife? That was almost 11, 12 years ago. Because May 1st this year, we had the anniversary of 11 years. Yes, we met online. Online is one of the best way to meet someone in the Western world, and especially here in the United States. Why? Because people are having indoor culture. Someone is at home, is going to the office, is coming back at home. Is having an appointment, is going to the store buying something for entire week or 2 weeks. So you cannot just roaming around and meet someone and just start like, oh, can I marry you? No, you cannot do that. So online has become easier way. You can meet many people and choose who you go along, and you can be able to date and make that kind of decision of that nature. So that is something. It happened for our case. So we got I met my wife, and the good thing, I'm happy, and her background was very, very good. She was a Catholic nun or Catholic sister for 12 years before she met me. So when she got out for medical reason, and because she didn't have the permanent vows at the end, then we met. So we got married. But on my end, I had to tell her from the beginning, I'm not marrying her because of just a green card. And I had to tell her, yes, when you get married, you'll get a green card. But don't assume I'm using just for green card. And that's why even we had to go to get married through the church, because I said, if I'm marrying someone because of a green card, I'm Catholic, I will never go to church for that. First of all, it's illegal if you get caught in whatever. So I'm not using you. I'm going, we meet with you, we see each other, we go along well, very well, then this will be the marriage, and that's just like a normal way. So that's how we got married. We got married on May 1st, and today, I mean, this year, 2021, we have 11 years. So I got married while I was master's student, but I didn't want right away to go and apply for green card, because I wanted to continue to be international student, because I was able to get more scholarships as international students than if I'm just a permanent resident. I didn't want to go for a loan, so I applied for other programs for PhD at that time, but I got some. The money was not good, and already we have a family. After getting married, she got pregnant right away, so I have to start a family, so I had to stop my PhD. So I got a green card for me through green card by marriage, and this was, you can see on this picture, this was at the University of San Diego on our wedding day. When we got married, you can be able to see on that particular photo. So when you got married, life continued from there. But as I said, I didn't get right away, so we had to apply to get green card by marriage. So green card by marriage, for those who do not know, it's just like, because you're in the US, you do adjustment of status. Just like someone who has won the DV lottery, if you're in the US, you do adjustment of status. You are adjusting from the visa you have for, I was an international student, F1 visa, to become a permanent resident. So you fill the same form, immigration form number 485I, 485 adjustment of status from whatever visa you have to permanent resident. So I had to apply for that one. But there are different forms. Another form, like she has to apply to sponsor for me. That is a sponsorship. She has to say that I'm her relative. I'm the relative of my wife. I'm the relative. That means for that particular case, she has to say that this is my husband. There is a form. We have to pay for the money. So we did the entire process, and then there is documentation you have to prove. The good thing is we applied already like a year and a half, almost a year, going to a year and a half after marriage. So always, I mean, at that particular time, already our first child, Benedict, was already born. So usually among the documents you put to prove you are married, one is the number one is the marriage license or marriage certificate here in the US. And then you have to put other documentation, like do you live together? Do you have like bank joint bank account, or whatever. But there is one aspect, if you have a child together, that's even more important than any of a bank or anything. So putting the birth certificate helps you a lot. So the interview was easy because it was a what we call bona fide marriage, was a real marriage, and at that time we had a year and a half on the day we are going for the interview. And we already have a child together, and went with Benedict because we didn't have any person to leave Benedict with. So the interview was so funny. We submitted all the other documents at the interview, the original one. They see them, so they went to do the photocopy. So the guy started like, oh, you have the accent like I didn't say. He mentioned one movie he saw. I've never watched that movie. He said there is one guy from Africa. He have the same accent like you. So we started talking about the movie, and then he asked about where did you go for honeymoon, whatever, something like that. Also went to Disney, and he said, I mean, it was my first time. So we just chatted like a few things. That's all. So what are you doing now? I said, oh, now I'm just looking for jobs. I'm just waiting for this green card. I was planning to go to Navy. So I've already started the initial processes. He said, oh, that's good. So he did that one. He didn't ask me most of the questions. He said, because he sees like how we interact with our child and one another and the documents. These people are married. It's not like they don't have even chemistry. So for that particular case, he said usually they can say wait for the report, whatever, with the answer. But the guy said, I've already approved your green card, so wait for your 10 to 14 business days. You'll get your green card on the mail. So I went after leaving that day because our interview was during was after lunch, if I'm not mistaken. Then like 3 hours later, I got the text message. Usually there is a way you can get the notification. Something changed in your immigration documentation. When you sign in, they say your green card has been approved. You are waiting for 10 to 14 business days to get the card. That's how I got my green card. But I didn't get my citizenship because of the green card as married. So this is how it is. How do you move from becoming a green card holder to a US citizen? I usually tell people, number one, you have to check on the law of your country before you make that decision. That decision, for me, I'm coming from Tanzania. In Tanzania, we don't have dual citizenship. So if you take the citizenship of another country, you abandon the citizenship of your mother country. So when you make that decision, you have to know what are you going to gain, what are you going to lose. For me, I didn't have much of to lose. Number one reason was I didn't have any assets in Tanzania, like land or business, house, whatever, that kind of things. So for me, I had nothing to lose. And the mindset I'm coming from day one, I'll be here in America in a long time to be here. So I was not planning to say, okay, I'm coming to stay for 2-3 years, then I'm going back to my home country. So I prepared my mindset, this is where I'll be staying for the rest of my life. So for that, it was easy decision for me to make, without any regret, like, okay, what I'm going to lose? If I lose, no, I didn't have any of that kind of things. So, if you get green card by marriage, after 3 years of marriage, you are allowed to become a US citizen. But when you get the green card, by marriage, you get what is called a conditional green card. It's a green card for 2 years. Just 2 years, because if you win the DV lottery, for instance, or you get a green card by employment, or green card by family, like you are the father processing for your child, whatever, not by marriage, you get 10 years. After 10 years, you're going to renew. So, but if you get by marriage, they give you conditional 2 years first. After 2 years, then you are starting renewing 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. So that's how it is. So green card by marriage, in total, after 3 years of marriage and by being green card for 3 years, you can be able to become a citizen. But if any other type of green card, by work, by family to sponsor you, like a father, whatever, but not by marriage, or any other by lottery, you have to wait for 5 years if you want to become a US citizen. But I got the green card, it was in April 2012, if not mistaken. The day I got that green card, the next day I went to, I got in March, I think, whatever. Yeah, it was not in April. I got in March, something like that. Then I went to the, already I started my processing to join the US Navy. So I went to the recruiter and submitted that one to finalize it, to go to take the oath for enlistment and everything. So I cleared that too. So for me, it was ready. But if you join the US military as a green card holder, while you are in the boot camp, so the 3rd week, for instance, on our case, we had to take the immigration test, the citizenship test. And then on the 6th week, we had to take the oath for citizenship and to become a US citizen. So I became a US citizen 6 weeks after being in the military. So instead of waiting for 3 years or whatever way, so even if you win the DV lottery, you come here, or you get any type of green card, you get it today, you join the military in the same month, you'll become a US citizen if you want. So I became a US citizen because I was already in the US military. So I didn't wait for 3 years of marriage as a green card holder through marriage to become a US citizen. So that's how, for me, it was my case. For some people, they don't want to become a US citizen. There are countries they have dual citizen, like you talk about Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Sudan. You are talking about most of the countries in West Africa, Nigeria. You are talking about Cameroon, whatever. Most of the West African countries, Ghana, whatever, they have dual citizenship. So you don't have any problem or losing anything if you become a citizen of another country. So that will be easy decision. But those who are coming in countries where you cannot get, you abandon your citizenship, you have to make a decision on your own to see what you are going to gain, what you are going to lose. That should be tough for some people. For me, it was not a tough decision because the decision I already made. That's why on this, they call it the decision here, 1994, already in my mind, I'll go to America, I'll have a child, I'll have a family, I'll marry there, I'll stay there, die there, whatever it is. But that was my plan. So that's how it has been up to particular time. And by being American citizen, it gives me more opportunities to get even more of the federal jobs. So someone might ask, I mean, if you are green card, you can get jobs to any employer. Why do you want to become a US citizen? But there are certain jobs, especially for the federal government, you cannot get because you are not a US citizen. You cannot get the security clearance. because you are not a US citizen, and they wanted to have opportunities to work, even to the White House, to work in FBI, CIA, whatever, any agency you want to work, you can have those kind of opportunities. So that was the reason for me to go full up to the US citizenship. So this is my passport, and I have the passport card. Is something usually if you want. So whatever, even if now I'm traveling to Tanzania, I have to get the visa to go to Tanzania, which is so strange. You go to your own country and you have to get the visa. This is the visa for my visa, 5 years visa for Kenya. This is the last visa for Uganda. I have visa for Madagascar here. This is the visa for Tanzania. When I go to Tanzania, so I have to put that one. And I have to respect all the laws and the regulations. Remember, here it is written, if you are going to the country with the, for instance, Tanzania doesn't have dual citizenship. So if I go there, let's say by anything happens, I get caught by police, whatever, I have to contact the consular or the US embassy. They will come to represent me. But if you go to a country of dual citizenship, if you are going to Kenya and you are Kenyan and US citizen, and you get caught, at that, yes, US embassy can come to help, but basically they can have not more of the things because you are also Kenyan. So they will leave certain things for you to be dealt as Kenyan. And that has been written also in some of the regulations here on the, some of the regulations which have been written on this one. So you have to know what are the regulations which you go when you go to a country of dual, wherever you are old country, kind of that, you are country of dual citizenship. So instruction number 14 on the passport, it says as follows: a person who has the citizenship of more than one country at the same time is considered a dual citizen. A dual citizen may be subject to the laws of the other country that considers that person its citizen while in that country's jurisdiction, including conscription, whatever, what is that, for military service. So you can be, if some of the countries they have mandatory, you going to the military, they can take you to the military because you are a citizen of that country. Dual nationality may hamper efforts to provide U.S. consular protection to dual citizens in the foreign country of their other nationality. Dual citizens who encounter problems abroad should contact the U.S. embassy or consulate. Yes, you can contact the U.S. consulate or embassy, but they don't have much of the things because you are a citizen of that country. But for me, if I go to Tanzania, if anything comes, I'm a US citizen, we don't have dual citizenship. So there is some of the things you lose, and there are some of the things you can gain as a fully one country citizen. So, but there are so many advantages of being a dual citizen. So that is some of my immigration story, just for you to understand my path from one to another. So you can come here and find different ways on your path on how you can become a US citizen. You can come as a student and get the green card through work or marriage or lottery, and then go to become a green card, or you want to become a US citizen. Is up to you what you want to do. Or you can stay green card forever. It's okay. It's up to you what is better for you.